Joining me right now is Matt Whitaker, former U.S. Acting Attorney General. A.G. Whitaker, it's great to see you. Thanks very much for being here, and we've spoken about this many times over the years. You say Jake Sullivan's fingerprints are all over this.
They are. I mean, if you listen to that clip, he laid out exactly what they were trying to do, which is they knew Hillary Clinton was being investigated by the FBI, and they desperately needed a counter investigation. And so they created this narrative out of complete fiction. And remember that ultimately this connection between Alpha Bank and the Trump campaign or Trump Tower were marketing emails for the Trump winery and hotel. And so this is not the crime of the century, and there were no crimes committed. In fact, if you listen to what Ratcliffe has said, the former DNI, he said that he handed over enough information to Durham to have many people indicted at that time. And, that was over a year ago now. So, I think there's still a lot to go in this, Maria.
Well, look, you're absolutely right. John Ratcliffe and Devin Nunes have been the leading truth tellers in America. They joined me on Sunday Morning Futures throughout 2017, 18, 19, and told us every Sunday when they were on Sunday Morning Futures, this is a lie. This is not true. And yet the media went and drove the bus on this, and half the country, more than half the country for a time, thought Trump colluded with Russia. I mean, extraordinary. You and I talked about this, and we both agreed it was nonsense. Former Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman is one of 3 people who have been indicted already. He pled not guilty after being charged with making false statements to a federal judge in September. His attorneys are claiming that the allegations are, quote, plainly intended to politicize this case, inflame media coverage, and taint the jury pool. Your reaction?
Well, it's doing quite the opposite. There is no media coverage, especially in the mainstream media. The Washington Post, New York Times, and all of the networks do not want to correct the record on this story. They have no desire to go to the truth. Remember, the Washington Post received a Pulitzer Prize for their coverage of this false narrative. And so, I think ultimately this is why we have our justice system, is to get the truth and to have a jury decide.
Yeah, well, justice takes a long time, doesn't it? Intel Committee ranking member Mike Turner joined me on Sunday Morning Futures, and he gave us a sense of where he thinks the indictments are leading, that John Durham is looking at the former head of the CIA, the former head of the FBI, the former head of NSA. Listen to this.
I think that this is going to lead in the end to Brennan, Clapper, and Comey. I think that what we see is not just, political shenanigans or opposition research that you would see in the normal, campaigns where people are trying to find information out about their opponents.
Your thoughts, AJ?
Well, false statements to congressional investigators are the same as a false statement to the FBI. So I would fully expect to see that if those statements that they made in their testimony and in private meetings were false, that Durham will pursue it.
Yeah, there are conspiracy charges coming, I understand. AG Matt Whitaker, great to see you. Yeah. Thank you. We'll be right back with more Mornings with Maria.